Welcome, everyone. This is Coach Lynn. If you've joined us today, it means you are involved with either the Aboriginal Run Walk program or an Honor Your Health Challenge program or even Fit Nation and beyond. And we want to thank you right off the get-go for taking the time to join us today on tips and tools on how to stay motivated with your program. Oh my gosh, way to go. I love this slide because, there's a voice inside each and every one of us, and somehow it enticed you, whether you're a leader or a participant today, to become involved in the program that you are in. For you, for others, and it's making a difference in your community. Remember, that in itself is something to keep motivated with. That reminder that, hey, it started with that voice. Something compelled you to do it, what it is that you're doing now, and to stick with it, to keep it going. So this is me. I'm Coach Lynn, if I haven't had the privilege of meeting you. And I've been SportMed BC's Run Walk coach now for over 23 years. Oh my gosh, and I hope you can tell, I'm still so excited and motivated to help people take steps towards better health in the sport that I love. I was that Olympic athlete that you see in the corner of the slide. Believe it or not, that was me. But more importantly for me, what that meant is that I learned about what it means to feel really good with my health, my physical health, and how it then extends out into every parameter of health within my mind, my spirit, my body. And I'm so privileged to be able to share the enthusiasm that I have to help others discover that in its simplest form, movement makes such a difference in one's life. So joining me today, oh my gosh, is my dear friend whom I've now known for some 20 years as well. We met because of this sport, as we all do. It connects us, the activities that we're involved in, and it becomes about being social. So Denise is here from Penticton, and let me just, before I won't talk too much because I've got to bring Denise in because this is a leader extraordinaire. This gal once took care of leading what became the largest run walk clinic group in the entire of BC. At one point, there were over 120 participants preparing for that event that you see on the screen there, the Vancouver Sun Run. And I met Denise because of her commitment to herself, her own health, her family's health, and her community health. Denise, good morning.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. It's like there's so much to say and we have so little time. So we're going to get cracking because our goal here today is to share with you ideas on how at this point in your programs we can keep one another motivated to sticking with that enthusiasm that got us going from the start. It helps to understand too, though, that the history around Honor Your Health and the Run Walk program goes back to 2007. And I think that vision alone is incredibly motivating, where back in 2007, and Denise was part of this team of volunteers that led 500 participants to prepare for the Vancouver Sun Run. Now, no longer about the Sun Run, about being active with 125 volunteer leaders in this year of 2018. And Denise is back in the fold. Denise, so glad to have you here.
Thank you. My husband and I here in Penticton, we took a break for a few years while I went back to school. But this program has always been in my heart. And like you said before, it was, my first venture into Run Walk was as a mom of 6 little boys. And it was just the perfect way for me to regain my strength, regain my spirit, to really give what I could back to my family. And now we're blessed. Our little boys are now young men, and my husband and I have this opportunity to give back to the community. And like many of you, it is such a rewarding experience.
Oh my gosh. And Denise, of course, over the years, we've connected on so many levels. And I hear you speak of your family and the strength in your family. And here we are talking about running and walking, but it becomes about just that. It becomes about how positive it is to be connected within our hearts and our families and communities. And that's in essence what keeps us moving and keeps us motivated to stay with it. How are you doing? At this point in the program, whether it's Honor Your Health or whether it's the Aboriginal Run Walk, you're weeks now into the program and in some cases finished or halfway, various points. And it's a check-in time. It's a time to just say, hey, what can we do to just somehow tap into that excitement that we had from the beginning and to keep us going, keep us motivated. I know with Run Walk especially, there have been a lot of challenges with the snow all around the province. We just got dumped again up near Terrace and up further north in Fort St. John, and there's been some amazing creativity. We've had a dialogue going amongst a number of leaders and just some good ideas there coming forward, staying inside, finding a covered area, using music, setting up a small route with cones, mixing it up with various exercises to bring variety during the time that you're meant to be moving. Denise, I remember Penticton. I remember joining you in the winter and being up there in the arena putting the steps together. Remember that?
Yeah, that was really fun because it takes a little bit of dedication to do a routine around in the same circle over and over. But that's where the participants come in, the energy, the stories that we can share because we're all in close proximity. Yeah, that was fun. And some of our group actually did that this year too.
Oh, that's excellent. And it does become about empowering one another and that concept of keeping things comfortable and smooth at a comfortable talking pace, working within your own comfort zone. And because of that, we do share stories and we are creative and people come up with ideas as a leader. Allowing your participants to come up with ideas to keep it going is always a way to stay motivated. This group said, forget the run walk today. We're going on the mountain. We're going snowboarding.
Exactly. And
You've got to do that once in a while. So what can we do? Let's go through some ideas about things. And I put this up because this slide here, because it is about run walk, but I think, we're talking about life. Staying where you're supported and feeling good about oneself is the essence to staying motivated. Thoughts on that, Denise? Just that concept of it starts with the individual and then it's about that connection to one another.
right, and it's so exciting. That's why we really encourage everyone to share as early as possible in the program what their reason for is for joining the group. And some have similarities, but some are really unique in and of themselves. And those are the share through that sharing. That's how we find different ways to support one another. And then we become concerned, or it matters to us how each member is doing, and we really notice it when people can't, for whatever reason, continue on, or there's a little bit of a gap in their attendance. And I think that's what really helps to keep the group together.
And see, there you go. We're always in sync. It just so happens there is the slide there, just checking in with one another, finding out what makes each other tick, and just those bits about how we got started and why. Everything it could be anything from just simply wanting to be out and about with people to trying to lose weight to involving kids and doing something together as a family. Just so many things. And what about, notice I put a little spelling mistake up there, making if fun with draw prizes, but the whole attendance and accountability thing. I know that you had some draw prizes at some point in your run walk groups. Is that something that you see as a motivating thing for people?
Definitely. And the great thing about that is that um, it doesn't even have to be, a major expense. Just a couple weeks ago, we had somebody bring in some reflective armbands, and participants are just really appreciative and really value just those little things that maybe they don't even think about, but that can help keep them going.
You know, exactly. It can be something commercial that gets donated from a business or, a community store of some sort. But and those would be very, valued, of course. But honestly, what I've found that's been so much fun is just getting everybody to go home and grab those items that are kicking around that you might actually put in a garage sale. But you know what? Bring it to the group. We put them all in a big black bag, and what makes me laugh is there's this one item, this little bird thing that somebody draws out as a draw prize every year, and it's that little bird that no one knows what to do with. And if you're a returning participant, becomes a really funny thing because who's going to pull out the bird and who's going to put the bird back in the bag for next year? So keeping it simple on that idea, but um, just working through some general kind of statements and things that come up. Um, recording your successes, your time that you've committed in, whether it's in your day planner, in your logbook, in a place that you see your calendar in the kitchen, so that you begin to reinforce for yourself how good it feels to have made the effort to get to your program day, the organized date that's been set out there. Denise, do you find people have been pretty good in your groups and found that it's helpful to keep track of, their commitment to themselves and to the group?
Definitely, for sure. And with the new technology, with smartphones and whatnot, um, I think that the fact that we can add pictures to that in a different way and share that, um, it's also a different way to monitor your success, but also keep in contact with everybody else and stay accountable. And that really helps out too.
Family and friends. Let's make it a family affair. Super motivating when that happens. And it's just delightful to have children running around, to have them in strollers, have them occupied even along the side, and they become a center of attention that motivates everyone. Shoot, if we all just did exactly what children do, moving as they do in play, we'd find ourselves really fit people. But even from an organizational point, Denise, have you found that as a leader in charge of an entire group, that involving, as you said, your six boys, all of them are active and all have been involved in some capacity over the years?
Definitely, it just adds that real personal feel. And I joke with the boys now because we sort of have an online little group in the family, and you know they don't realize how much they motivate me just to hear them report, Mom, I went out and did my run today. That just really fills my heart. And even in our group last week, one of our participants brought her granddaughter to train, and that's just so great. It just adds that other element, and we all feel so proud of everybody that way.
So awesome. How I relate. And I know you do too, listening, just imagining when your spouse, when your partners, when your families are all there right with you. So invite them along. If you haven't done that, do that now. It's not ever too late to involve the folks that are closest to you in what it is you're trying to do and accomplish. This photo I love because it's so motivating to appreciate the surroundings that you're in and to choose to go, perhaps once in a while, especially to a special place that truly is inspiring in what it has to offer, outside in the fresh air, wherever it may be. But that alone can be enough to inspire, sticking with the program that much longer. Have you got a favorite place in Penticton, Denise, that you like people to go or that they find they will comment about their surroundings?
We're really blessed here in Penticton in that we have trails in the hills, but with our two lakes here, we also have trails that run parallel to the water. And I find the water in itself just brings some really healing benefit to people. And it gives us um, a new outlook. So we're not, maybe we're not focused so much on um, the program itself, but we're able to just be out there on the land near the water. Our participants just love that.
I can vouch for having been around now to so many places around the province, and what I'm privileged to enjoy are the beautiful spaces that people have treated me to wherever we are, whenever we are out and about. So it's possible wherever you are, even around the city here too. There's areas where you'd think, oh, there's, nothing available but a busy street. And it's incredible what people are able to find in order to find that kind of fresh experience of being inspired with what's outside in the surroundings on our land and appreciating that. Um, we talked a little about kind of having that connection, and this is one now for leaders particularly, is that it's very important that participants feel acknowledged. Really, sometimes this can be difficult if you're in a large group to actually make that connection with everybody each time. But to make that effort, whether it be technical about form, as in this Fit Nation body squat, this gal is receiving some nice technical expertise here on her form. But even just an acknowledgement of, wow, you look great today. Or, if it's just that acknowledgement that you're noticed and you're part of the group makes such a difference. Denise, I know you can back me up on that one.
Exactly. I always think back to one of our leaders from a few years back. She had, close to 100 people in her group. And when it came to our celebration, a time to celebrate everybody's success, she knew everybody by name, and she had something really special to say about each and every person. And I think that's what, we're really blessed that we're able to get to know each other in a different way as well, like that.
Oh, that sounds like an extraordinary leader because it making that effort. If it's something though that is important to you, it's amazing what your mind can, take in and remember. So, yes, knowing somebody's name and its is as its most basic, connection is something that makes a difference. Oh, she knows my name. It's just, and when you do have a large group, it can be difficult. You have to make that effort. So, even as participants, wearing that fun little name tag, even if you haven't done that at this point, to do that, if you don't all know each other and you're a larger group, it's worth just pulling out those fun little clips and each creating their own fun name tag. And, then you find almost instantly that you suddenly have a nicer connection with people. So, of course, this one, most things in a way are common sense, but here we are. You will have all ages, shapes, sizes, and ability levels within your program, whatever the program is. And it is important to make that effort to accommodate whatever is required so that people are truly comfortable, are acknowledged, they're able to handle what it is you're needing to achieve in your program. and ask for help if that's really difficult. If in some way you're unable to modify things so that everyone is included. With the run walk, here we are up in Prince George in that snow. Round and round we go, keeping everyone together, looping together so that no one ever feels like they need to be moving at a pace that they're not comfortable with. Denise, I've seen some incredible looping in your groups where you've got, well, and your dear husband darting in and out of bushes and taking photos and coming back and forth to make sure everybody is supported in your group, whether they're walking, whether they're running fast. And that's been, I think, a huge part of the success that you've had.
It has, and the really neat thing now, when everybody gets used to that routine, if we, you know, maybe don't loop back as soon as we should, the participants are getting really confident to speak up and say, hey, you guys, it's time to loop. We can't leave anybody behind.
Oh, and I love when that happens because that means, you think, are they really paying attention? Are they getting how great this is when we loop? And when that happens, okay, it's been worth helping people understand how this works because that is it. I'll find myself chatting and then, yes, somebody's gone further ahead. They turn around and look, and all of a sudden there they are looping, and we get to do our little high fives, and it's just so motivating, and everyone's smiling. Hey, Denise, we all smile, and whether you think it's necessary or not, you realize, oh, that was so worth it.
Yeah, the smiles are awesome, and we get a little bit of a chuckle too because I'm not the most coordinated person, so my high fives, tend to be a little bit off, but that brightens up the spirit as well.
Oh no, not one of those lame fives. That's terrible. I do know what that's like too. So, and events. Now, and events can be seem like a big word, but just creating a social gathering to celebrate success makes a big difference to your groups. And if you're finding, there's motivation waning, then just, food always is a motivator. Let's just have a little potluck gathering to bring everybody together and centered and motivated. Hey, Denise, food. What about food as a motivator to celebrate success?
Food has always been one of the key motivators, and when I took a survey of our participants a few years back, about what's the best thing about the clinic and what's the best thing about our group. And it was so funny because they all talked about how coffee at Timmy's afterwards was the best thing. So it's definitely a great motivator.
And it includes people, empowers one another. We share in food preparation, we share in the organizing of whatever it may be, a social gathering of some sort. Maybe people will gather and actually listen to this webinar to help themselves stay motivated. Watching a movie, taking in even something completely unrelated to the activity that you're doing when it's more that, hey, let's just have that social connection to stay motivated with one another. But I think it comes with empowering those within your group to come forward with ideas and, create that event to celebrate working together, mind, body, and spirit. Here we are with some good food ideas. But over time, I was just in the program now with the Run Walk program. Those that have started in January are now over halfway. And I was privileged to join a group this past weekend. They had a nice, 5K over halfway celebration with potluck and, invited family members. And it was just, the best part. We couldn't wait to get finished with the run walk to get to the food afterwards and socializing and, have a nice coffee together. And really, that's what it was about. It wasn't even about the physical part of the movement, although that was a, great success as well. Water. We've heard lots of different wonderful dietitians speak about the importance of water. And, I can certainly say I've heard visiting various run walk groups too. I don't know, I don't like water that much. And we don't want to be adding too much sugar to drink stations. But there's certainly some really nice ideas with infused waters, with fruits, and with herbs and traditional teas. And, that's the way to get those 8 cups of water in your day as well. What about special speakers, Denise? I know that's been something you've tapped into in your years with the Run Walk program.
Yeah, that's been a great way to engage the larger community because through the years you get to know who is a good speaker at stretches or who brings something beneficial to the group, like one speaker I liked is a great storyteller within our nation and could come and share about place names and stories about how our people used to run on the land 50, 75 years ago. And it just expands the program in such a really good way.
I think it brings me to that concept of tradition and being able to incorporate important cultural aspects at any available opportunity, and whether that means a circle, whether it means actually bringing in a speaker or dancers or somebody that can share something that is culturally connecting, that also is so motivating. Denise, thoughts on that?
Definitely. And speaking of events, I drumming is always a part of events here. And for the first time, our warm up for our 5K fun run event um, was led by a drum group. And it was just so amazing. It was one of the best warm ups I've ever experienced. And it brought, people who might not always come together. It brought people together, and it was amazing.
Oh, it would have been so powerful. On a personal note, when we were at Fit Nation training, one of the leaders was so creative and used the drum as the beat for us to, go forward with our exercises. And it was powerful and it was so motivating. I know you've mentioned, Denise, that sometimes you'll try to bring about an actual, a deliberate sharing, whether it be a circle at the beginning or in somehow having someone say or talk to something that may have happened since the last time, the group gathered. How important do you think that is to fit in?
I think that part is really important. And I'm seeing it more and more as the group becomes more um, closer together, more connected, is that you can get a sense that they want to do some kind of check in before we go out for our run. And then when we're finished, it's almost like they naturally come together in a circle and they want to. Um, close the session in a meaningful way together. So it it does become really important.
Opening and closing. It does. It does. It lends itself to just that. Again, it's that spiritual, mindful connectivity that keeps people engaged and motivated and wanting to come back. What about deciding on another challenge? There's time, I guess there's a time for that, and it's important for you and I have talked about this. It's important depending on the person, really. It's very personal. Some will have definite physical goals, definite goals surrounding whatever the programming is that's taking place. For others, it's just more a gathering. So, do you have any thoughts on that in terms of, because all of these programs are sort of finite in nature, it's a 6 week program or an 8 week program or a 13-week program, but often people, because of their connections, they carry on meeting, even though it may not be organized in the same way.
For sure. And I think getting familiar with what's happening locally, with things that are coming up in the summer or different opportunities that participants might find interesting. Like locally here, we have the Dragon Boat Festival. So quite often, community members will come together and put a team in, or they might be moving on to a different sport like slow pitch, and they continue on with the whatever it is they're doing to help them with their next goal like that. So, and sometimes it is an event. I hear a little bit of chatter already about, what people might do in October.
Awesome, awesome. And what we are trying to achieve isn't so much, for example, with Run Walk, with Fit Nation, with the physical, uh, those of you involved with more of a physical program. We're just trying to achieve, the concept of movement and developing that baseline of fitness that winds up allowing us to, try different things and experience different things. So I love what, you've sort of just drawn in that whole idea of bringing variety and trying local activities that you may not otherwise have tried. And the beauty of it is having that confidence to think, well, shoot, I could try that. I'm going to give that a go. And so we do, we empower one another in this way, that sharing. And what are you going to do next? Are you going to do something? How about that dragon boat event that's happening? What about that canoeing event that's happening? Let's give it a try. So we've talked now about a number of things throughout this presentation. And by and large, some you would relate to, others you say, oh yeah, I do that already. But then hopefully it's just got your mind as a participant and as a leader thinking about how we can still remain connected and still stay motivated with all that, what the purpose of our gathering was from the beginning. So we've talked about kind of each of these things. I think, wow, we've actually covered a fair bit, Denise. We tried to think of everything, didn't we? Anything else come to mind as I'm sort of whipping through some of these, general concepts of things we've talked about?
I'm just thinking as a leader, when you notice people kind of drifting away, really do what you need to do to take care of yourself, and don't get worried about, the numbers, and, starting to feel bad about that. What you're doing out there is amazing, and people might come back, a year later and say, you know what? That you were so inspirational, and they'll thank you right out of the blue. So keep it up.
Oh, keep it up, leaders. It's so true. And along those same lines, there's so many different kind of styles of leading, and you've found yourself at the helm in a way that is right for you. And it's so important not to kind of be someone that you're not feel like the way that you are empowering people is somehow needs to be done in a different way. Stay, authentic and true to yourself, and understand that what you're doing is making a difference, whether it's that one person that showed up or whether it's, a larger group that, continues to grow. No matter that energy is the same one way or the other. And so just stick with it and enjoy the people that you're actually working with. It brings me to, the sort of the final thoughts that I know we've both had, Denise, is that, look, I said here, what do you notice most about this photo? They're out there walking, but what do you see? What do you see, Denise?
I see the joy. I see the happiness, the togetherness. Um, it's amazing.
It's true. Here's a mother and son connection that's been, caught on camera over the years. These two, the same way, they're out there, they're woohoo, they're chatting, they're enjoying the fresh air, they're moving. But it's about the fact that they are, they're enjoying one another. And honestly, leaders and participants, I think that's the essence of living, is that we live and work together, play together, move together, and ultimately feel happy, together. This is our dear friend Michelle, who's always taking a fun selfie with whoever, wherever, whatever is going on. And so we know through Michelle and through so many that that's the best medicine for sure. She's working with these youth here with Fit Nation concepts and exercises. And that, look at, they're working hard, but they are having fun doing it. Denise, thanks so much for joining us today, and thanks for your commitment over so many years now. Knowing you and working together has been a joy and a privilege. Everybody, good luck. Haichka. Continue and let us know if there's any way that we can help you. We're always reachable and would love to hear from you. All the best, and thanks for joining us today. Bye for now, Denise.
Bye.